Hello, welcome to this next video. I'm a bit excited about this video because this is something that's kind of been brewing for a little while for me, and I felt inspired today to share it because I bumped into somebody who I've not seen for a few years in my day-to-day life after a unexpected, just really mundane turn of events. So I went somewhere anyway, and then the person that I went to meet wasn't there. So I ended up just kind of wandering around my old hometown and bumped into somebody who I've not seen for a while. So this person and I had a little chat in the street, and they brought something up that's just really relevant that I have been going through. So a lovely little synchronistic event, and it sparked this video today. And the video today is about taking action and the awakening process. And I'm going to actually record another 2 videos after this one. So please do make sure you like and subscribe, put the notification on to look out for the next videos for when I publish them. Because they all come together just to explain like an idea, something that's been really grounding in me about how we change, how we evolve, how we actually get the things that we want in life, how we actually make a difference. Okay. So like I said, there's a few videos about this. And the first point I kind of want to make is that nothing happens instantaneously. Everything can change in a moment in your life. Anything can, we have these things that happen to us, around us, for us. And it might make a massive shift or change in our life, our perspective, whatever it is. But in order to make something happen, to create the life that we want, to create something, anything, it takes energy. And I kind of want to speak to that a little bit because a lot of the terms that I see that talk a lot about spirituality, about awakening, about manifestation, all these like terms you might have heard if you've been kind of on that path, they often felt very heady, etheric, not quite real, right? And I'm the sort of person that likes to see things be grounded in reality. So I kind of do have these 2 very different sides to me. I do channel. I have had some really kind of spiritual experiences that can only be described as like extrasensory and things. I'm a creative. I have a very vivid imagination. So I kind of have this ability to visualize and take energy on as an etheric, as a non-tangible thing. But also my mission, if you like, is to like take all that stuff and be like, well, what does that mean for like real life, like on the planet, in our bodies, on the ground? So I've been kind of thinking about and mulling over and having conversations and interactions all around this subject, doing a lot of writing on it and things. I'm writing courses all about it, all about this for a significant period of time. And it's kind of come over to a head over the past few weeks. So this first idea, we'll start at the beginning with the awakening, right? What is this awakening process? It can be a few different things. My awakening was being reminded that there's more to life than just the physical, that there is this spiritual aspect to life that's it's like wanting more meaning in life, wanting all of this reality to mean something more, to feel better about it, to feel like I was in a really shit place when I had my awakening. I wanted to feel like life was worth living. And what came with that was, like I say, also this awakening to a brand new way of interacting with my mind and spirituality with regards to, on my path specifically, it was looking at extrasensory experiences and stuff because it's been something I've been avoiding for a period of my life. And I think that seems to happen quite a lot for people first. We have this like awakening and it starts in the mind. So it's a spiritual awakening, right? It's something that stirs in us that we just want life to be more than it is, right? And something tends to happen when I've spoken to other people, something tends to happen. And it's like just this energy rises in you, this deep desire that you have to act upon, to just want it all to matter, to mean more, to find something bigger than just going to the shops or going to the pub or whatever it is, however you live your life. So I found that the spiritual awakening often then starts in the mind. We start thinking about life differently. We start seeking more knowledge, different knowledge. And even it could be like mine was related to like mental health problems as well, that like emotional stagnation, really deep, dark feelings that I had been avoiding for a long time, needing a different perspective, needing a new way of looking at the world. And it started very much mentally. Okay. And something else I want to mention with that as well is like I was actually in a state of depression for a long time before and even after my awakening. The realization of the whole process took a toll on my body, and I was depressed for a really long time. And I now kind of have the perspective that this depression is our body like given up, right? Our body is given up on us ever looking or finding any more meaning to life. It's exhausted, it's tired, it's not been taken care of properly, and it's forcing us, if you like, it's giving us all these signals that this is not right, not right. And we might have been ignoring it for a very long time and keep going till the body's just like, nah, don't even want to get out of bed, don't even want to eat, go away, you're horrible to me. And because of that, my first phase of awakening did involve a lot of research, reading. I was actually going to a group. I was going for like spiritual healing. I was going to the spiritualist church and join different groups and that. Took me a while to even get myself out of the house into the spiritualist church. And this has kind of taken me on to the next part of awakening. And this was what was referred to when I was having this chat today with my friend. And he said like he asked about the awakening, like how the almost like we've become trapped in this sense of not wanting to do anything or not feeling we're able to do anything, and just kind of living this life of like monotony, right? And that was certainly true for me. And he said something like, how do we get out of that? How do you like want to take action? And then this is what kind of sparked it, because I was like, well, actually, it was something that kind of stirred in me. And I have written a blog, if you're interested, about healing from depression through empowerment, which might be relevant, because it needs action, is what I'm trying to say. So he was like referring to this awakening process as like you become awake, like your body wakes up, right? Your body kind of takes action. And that might not be continual action. It might just be one action. And there's different phases to awakening. But I've noticed when he said that, it kind of stirred something in me that is definitely like what an awakening process is in one sense. So one sense it's mental. We become awake mentally. We are seeking more, which might mean we're expanding our knowledge. And this is kind of the idea of enlightenment. We're bringing more light. We're bringing more focused attention. We're broadening our mind, seeking more. Like I like to think enlightenment like a torch. Like how much light can we let in? What are we looking at? How much can we see in the dark? But the awakening is like it's something that drives us to come awake. Like when you're waking up from sleep, when you're asleep, right? You're laying there, you're doing nothing, you're resting. And when you are awakening, you're getting up, you're taking action, you're starting to move in the world. And I just wanted to speak about that a little bit. So for example, when I first chose to go for spiritual healing, this had been something niggling me for a while. Memories coming back from childhood because I had that link in the past. When when I was starting to do a bit more research about spiritual experiences and things because of the experience I'd had, there was just this kind of niggle there for a while. And I was kind of trying to gain knowledge to almost validate this niggle. And I don't remember the exact what exactly happened, but I just know that one, I'd done research, I knew when the healing was on. And just one day I realized it was on, it was starting in half an hour or whatever. And I was just like, right, I don't even think about it, just get up and go. And that was like, I just did, just got up. I had a car, went, just turned up, just did it. And that experience then gave me more energy to begin down that path. That was one kind of awakening experience I had that would tie into this taking action idea. Another one was I remember like a phase that so after I went through this spiritual part of my awakening and I was going for energy healing and things, and I started getting like understanding more about the channel and messages I was getting. I was opening my mind to like different different types of mediumship, meditation. I was doing a lot of meditation stuff. And like I say, a lot of it was in the mind, but I was physically taking action towards that in my mind. That kind of broadened my mind, and I started to see more about why I was getting depressed, what hadn't been serving me in society, different things like that. And I became more politically aware and was consuming quite a lot of stuff at one point about the state of the world, shall we say. And I know a lot of people do that. So if you're stuck in that phase, you might want to pay attention. I had this specific experience once. So I was like, I had a lot of anxiety at that time. It was bringing up a lot of anxiety. It was bringing up a lot of repressed anger and frustration with the world, and started to really hate on the world and judge other people and think I had all these ideas on how I would fix it, how I would make it better. Yet I was sitting on my ass on the sofa doing nothing other than reading about this stuff and getting annoyed. And I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I do remember either this came to me as a channel, or someone said it to me, or it like came into my awareness through like something I was watching or something like that. I said or had the expression of someone needs to do something about it. Someone needs to do something about this. Someone should do something about this in relation to something. And again, I don't even remember exactly what it was in relation to. I think it was probably because I was quite community orientated at the time. It was probably, and I was into food. I was doing a lot of research around food, and that kind of led me down a different path, which is this awakening. Someone needs to do something about this, or there should be more about this. And the response was, so why not you? If someone should do something about it and you care, why don't you become that someone? And my brain started to like try and fill that gap of all the reasons why I couldn't do anything about it. And actually, there was no real reason there, other than a pile of excuses that was just BS or a lot of fears. It was like, well, actually, if I really did care, then I really could do something about this. And once I had that realization, it was really hard to ignore because I couldn't say that phrase again. I couldn't hate on other people and judge other people for not doing enough when they were all doing exactly the same as what I was doing, which is nothing other than whine. So that sparked another massive phase of my life where I started to do projects, community projects and things, and started to grow food and try and connect with people. And obviously that came with a lot of other things, circumstances I had to deal with, and ultimately led me to love school. If you follow any of my story, you'll kind of know how that all kind of comes together. It's not really relevant right now. But what I'm trying to say is in that moment when I had that realization where bing, something came awaken is I realized nobody's going to save us, right? Nobody's going to, there's no one person that's going to save the world. There's no one person that's going to come and save us. No one's going to come and choose us for some sort of special achievement or role that we're going to make a difference in the world, right? If we want something different in our lives, in our communities, in the world, right? We have to make it happen. And if we are not going to make it happen and instead just sit on our asses whining about it, we're part of the problem. And we have that choice, right? Every single day, you can sit down and do nothing but whine, or you can get up and do something that might help. Now, I do a lot here about taking this balance because sometimes we do things and they don't help. Sometimes we do things and they make things worse. Sometimes we might have a lot to learn before we can actually do anything of meaning. Sometimes we do too much and we need to rest. Sometimes resting and doing nothing and just processing all them feelings or processing our own emotions is the right choice to make. Okay. There's not one right answer to any of this, but the realization, the awakening process came from realizing that I could get up and I could do something about this problem I was seeing. Nothing was stopping me other than my own mind, my own mindset, my own ideas that I had, the circumstances that I had created actually weren't stopping me at all because I created them and I could just change them circumstances. And that again drove that energy of that realization. That was 7-8 years of my life, and obviously still kind of to this day impacts me in one way or another. And just when I'm processing all these experiences and, like I say, landing this idea of awakening really into a grounded perspective, it's definitely truth to me that we have to make the changes ourselves, right? Nothing changes unless we change. You know, Einstein's theory, I'm no good at quotes. Probably butcher this genius man's quote. But it's like Einstein said something like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. Okay. Nothing changes unless we make the change. Nothing. Sometimes we can make a change and it doesn't change the things we want or in the way we might like or have the results we expect. That doesn't matter. But when we do the same thing, then we're pretty sure it's probably going to get the same output. Especially like sometimes you might want to repeat the same thing and like practice at it, get better at it. That's a bit different, right? That's like a process of learning. But once we've kind of established kind of when we do X, it equals Y, then if we keep doing X and equals Y, then that's what we're going to get, right? And I did really feel insane when I was stuck in those states of like depression or anxiety. That sort of like mental illness definitely did feel like insanity when I was literally like sitting there doing nothing and wanting something to change. Now, sometimes that means moving your body, right? Physically changing. Physically changing. Now I've got a free PDF lesson I would love to share with you if you're interested in this, right? It's called the 3-stage shift, because I actually break down this because often there's like 3 stages to shifting, changing energy. It's like an input, it's like a movement, it's like whatever the energy moves, and then there's something will come out of that movement. And I've tried to make it as simple as possible as like a life design tool. I've put together this 3-stage shift and I've related it to different areas of our life, like our body, our mind, our spirit, relationships, and environment. I think those are the 5 areas that I looked at. That's normally what I look at here at Love School. If you're interested in this, just have a little look at that because it might help you understand the difference of how we can like change energy. Because sometimes if we can't move our body, right? If we're really, we might be really ill, we might be stuck in a freeze mode, we might be exhausted, tired, in burnout, whatever it is, right? We can't move our body. Change the mind then. You can probably change something. If you can't move your body, change your mind about something. If you can't change your mind about something, change how you feel about it. Your energy, your spirituality. There might be all sorts of things that happen when we start taking action. Because I've noticed when we change something physically, it often leads to a change in our mind or change in our energy one way or another. When we start eating differently, when we change our diet, it's going to affect our body differently. So that may affect our energy levels differently. And then we might be able to move more. It might be that we have to change the way we're thinking about ourselves. If we're sitting there, we can't move and we're feeling really down on ourselves, we've got an inner critic telling us we're shit all the time or we're wasting our life or whatever it is. If you've got one of them, get rid of that, change that. That's going to change your life forever. If you learn to get rid of that, there's a video on here about changing monkey mindset. Have a look. I'll try and remember to link it. There's always something we can change. If you're passionate about something and you want to make a difference in the world, start that project, write that blog, write that social media post. If you care about your family, pick up the phone, ring them, go and see somebody. If you're struggling, if you're feeling isolated and you really want some company, reach out to an old friend, go to a group, a local group where you might be able to meet a new friend. Go for a walk and say hello to the person if someone walks past you in the street. Like, you have to do something differently to get a different result. And it might be one tiny thing, but coming alive, waking up to that reality that the only way to change the situation is to change something about it. It doesn't even have to be everything, just one thing. And it might not change everything, it might not change anything. But what it did do is it awoke something in you. And this is like the ongoing awakening process. So, all part of awakening for me is taking responsibility for our lives and being able to gain more perspective, gain more experience, gain more knowledge, gain more skill, right? Becoming, growing, evolving. Becoming more of ourselves, meeting our potential and taking action towards that. Again, there's stuff here on YouTube about gathering data, harvested data as part of a life design and things like that. Because when we come awake, we're essentially gaining a new perspective. And the only way we do that is through our own experience, right? You can sit and read as many books as you want, as many data, scientific data stuff, get other people's evidence as much as you want, right? And all it's doing is going into your brain, into your, well, not even your brain, into your mind, right? And it might even be just getting filtered out as you sleep. All of that knowledge doesn't do anything unless you make it matter, unless you make it important and you use that knowledge to help you in some way, to help you grow, to help you be a better person, to help you connect with people better, understand people better, change your, whatever it is. Don't we just learn loads of stuff for the sake of it? And that's going to be the next video, by the way. So I'll kind of maybe like leave it there a little bit because I'm going to do a whole other video about that, about taking knowledge, putting it into action. So look out for that. But the whole point of our life is that we're here to experience it. And the more we limit our experience, and sometimes that might be intentional, we can intentionally limit our experience. If we need to rest, recover, we might want to make our experience really small, really simple, so that we can process what we're going through, relax, recuperate, whatever. There's no like, it's not like there's wrong to do that. But if we feel stuck in that and we know we've got this sensation that we want something to change, right? We want to grow. You kind of get this sensation, right? But you're still not doing anything about it. Something needs to awaken in us. We can't necessarily force it, but the more we kind of become aware of that energy that wants to move and then act on it. As soon as that energy moves, just act on it. Wake up. Take the action, gain the perspective, learn through experiences, through testing things. What happens if I just go for a 5-minute walk? What happens? Does it change anything? Come back. Oh, has anything changed? Maybe your head feels a bit clearer. Maybe as your body's come alive a bit more. Maybe as you're actually even more tired and you're like, oh, well, that was actually really tiring, but you don't know until you try it. Okay. If you found this helpful, please do check out the 3-stage shift PDF lesson. That, like I say, it's a really simple life design tool that's going to help you kind of understand the basics of how energy moves in 3 really simple steps. And once you kind of grasp that, you can kind of start to work with energy in perhaps a more complex way. But the only time things change is when we tap into how energy works, and energy is always transmuting from one form to another. Okay, so tapping into that process and choosing to work with the energy that wants to transmute and change is a great way to kind of start to take control of our lives, to work towards the things that we want. If you really want to start creating more of a life that you love, if you need to recover, if you want to kind of pay more conscious attention to your life, if you're having this awakening process, okay, and you've realized, I want my life to be different to how it is, you might be really interested in our life design course. There's an introduction to life design, and I've kind of brought together a few different tools you can use. This is a tool that I use that literally changed the game for me. And I've included them tools. They're other people's actually, but I've developed my own in the life design course. We can actually like start to strategically plan our own lives. We don't have to just always go with what happens, go with the flow. And sometimes we need to find a balance with that. Sometimes we do need to go with the flow. But we can, just like if you were planning a wedding or planning a house move, we can planning a holiday. You can plan your itinerary. Doesn't always mean it goes to plan, but at least having some sort of strategy, some sort of way of thinking about it and looking at your life. And what we do at Love Schools, we look at everything holistically, like an ecosystem. And some of the life design tools that we have in that course just help you to look at your life, maybe it's a little bit more strategically, but in order to kind of find a balance as you're making a change, as you're wanting to get from one lifestyle or one circumstance to another. Also, if you're feeling really trapped in any of these conditions that I've talked about, like if you are feeling trapped in a mindset, if you're really struggling with this idea of if you're feeling anxious and you're feeling kind of stuck in what I like to call illusions, because things that happen in our mind that aren't happening in reality, or if we can change our mind that changes our reality, we're stuck in an illusion, we're stuck in blinkers, we're stuck in something that's keeping us thinking, feeling, acting, responding in a certain way. And that doesn't have to be the case. I've done I'm developing a whole course, so it should be out very soon, called Freedom from Illusion. And this is really going to help you if you are in that phase of wanting a bit more knowledge, in that phase of what I definitely went through with my awakening, which was just thinking that the whole world is a lie, like the whole way society is structured is not helpful. And what we do in that course is break down all the ways we have been conditioned one way or another from our childhood throughout our lives to think, feel, and respond in a very certain, predictable way, i.e., making us feel trapped, making us stay stuck. Because when we're staying stuck, we're easier to control. We're following a certain pattern that might meet certain agendas. I've got to be very careful what I say on YouTube. If this is resonating at all, sign up for the waitlist for Freedom for Illusion. And as soon as that course is released, we'll let you know. And you can sign up, and that is going to be a really mind expanding awakening course that you might have to do slowly as part of your awakening process. All of this stuff I'm talking about takes a bit of time, okay? Not like I said at the very beginning of this video, nothing happens straight away. This is about nurturing a process within you that's going to come as it naturally needs to come. And we honor all of that here at Love School. So if you need any extra support with it, please reach out. You can either comment here or reach out to us through the Love School platform. You can email me at mail@loveschool.uk. And there's loads of content for free at Love School that's going to support you. There's free lessons. There's a couple of free courses. There's blogs. There's our podcast. There's videos here on YouTube. Consume as much of it as you like. All to support you on your journey of recovery, awakening, and creating a life you love. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I say, I just want to really ground this idea of awakening and how we can empower ourselves, how we can work with energy that's arising in us, how we can use the whole awakening experience to actually make our life different, to move towards the things that we want, and assuming that's more health, better well-being, better relationships, more aligned circumstances, maybe a career, whatever it is. It's all possible, but it's not going to just happen when you're asleep, when you're lying there doing nothing. Unless you're lying there doing nothing because you need to rest. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Look out for the next few videos. If you're interested in this, please remember to like, subscribe, comment. I love your comments. Let me know in your comments. Ask any questions. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you. Thank you. I'll see you on the next video.